can you tell me what is this SAP R by 3? What does it mean?
Okay, yeah, sorry. So SAP R by 3, it is nothing. We are having a three layers architecture in the SAP. That is having the presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. So this is nothing but SAP R by 3, three layer architecture, we can say. So we are having the database layer where the data resides. I'll just show you one screen. Okay, so this is a R by 3 architecture, what I'm talking about. So we are having a presentation layer, application layer, the database layer. So database layer is nothing but the area or the physical storage of data. Data actually resides in the database layer. What is presentation layer? Whatever the output we are having, that is on the screen, that is based on the user needs, that user is going to see the output, that is at the presentation layer. But what
So
is
database
application
is
layer? So
our
application, the task of,
so database is our physical server. I mean, every servers
yeah,
really use
database
it.
layer is the physical server, we can say. Presentation,
Yeah.
we can have the monitor or the TV or the system where you just want to display the records, display the information, anything. So the main task is of the application layer. Application layer, what does it do? It just fetches the relevant data from the database and do some calculation, manipulation, changes, whatever you, as per your needs. It will do all these things and make it compatible so that it can be presented on the presentation layer. We can't present the data that is stored in the form in the database layer directly to the presentation layer, right? So we have to first fetch the data from the database layer, make it presentable, or do some calculation, processing, whatever it's taken, and then we can move it to the presentation layer. So this is nothing but a SAP R by 3 architecture. Okay, so purchase info record, it can be maintained at a plant level or at purchase organization level. So the main most important T code, just remember these things, that is ME11 we are having. Logistics, master data, info record, click on create, enter the vendor number, info category, select standard or subcontracted, pipeline, consignment. So these are the category we are having. Provide all the details, click on save. Now what is source determination or list? See, whatever the combined information of the material and the vendor all together, so that becomes a part of a purchase info record. Whatever the, from where we are going to purchase, what we are going to purchase, at what value, what is the address, country, pin code, each and everything what we are having there is at the purchase info record. Okay, but a particular material can be ordered from different vendors from different countries in a different region in different span of time. So this information, it can be maintained in a list that is called a source list. So that particular diary is a source list. So that information we called is at a source list. So it include list of all possible sources of supply for a material over a given framework of time. Given framework of time means whatever. So these all things are interconnected. I think it's easy to understand by this way. So it specifies the time period. Okay, that's pretty obvious. So this is the T code MM02. Remember this T code, creation of source list.
The source list is not that protected, right? I mean, source list, if you can copy and paste, so anyone can see that. Source list is not like this. What was that? A transaction and no master data and transaction data. So source list will come under transaction itself, right? If there is any
Yeah, we can
differentiation,
say that.
if you
Uh,
can copy paste and all that can be done in that, so it can be easily tampered with.
No, no. There are two things. We are having the vendor master data separate
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
material
okay,
master data is separate. Combining both
separate.
of them, we are having the purchase info record, right? Now
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are having the source list that is entirely different. That is having a list
Hmm.
of all possible scenarios or the possible sources of supply we are having. So that is, we can't relate it to the vendor master data. That is
Okay.
entirely different. So we are having the ME01 to maintain that. We have to fill all the necessary details. What the same company code, organization, purchase, or this is all the things. So now this is again an important one, procurement cycle. How procurement cycle flow, we have already discussed, but here we are just revision of things. First, important steps, these are the most important steps that we have already discussed in the procurement cycle. First, you have to determine your requirement. What is your requirement? Whether you need 100 bags, 10,000, 20,000, 1 lakh. So first you have to determine your requirement. Then you select the vendors from which you are going to purchase those things. Once that thing is, then negotiation will come in the picture. Once everything will get finalized, you create a purchase order. So once purchase order gets generated, then goods from that vendor will receive to the gate of your organization. There the guys will check and validate the goods as per the purchase order. Once everything is fine, then they post GR. GR is nothing but goods receipt. This is a certificate from those guys that whatever the purchase order we have generated to that particular vendor, that vendor has successfully and in an efficient way or to the standards they have delivered all the goods, and we are certified that these goods are in perfect condition as per our expectation. So once GR is done, then automatically an invoice goes generated and forwarded to the FICO department. So this is a very long process, but in a nutshell, we are having the four important steps: determination of requirement, creating purchase order, posting GR, posting invoice. So first is determination of the requirement, quite obvious. So I just don't go very deeper into that because this is a very small one, but already explained you all these things. Remember this cheat code ME21 and most frequently used cheat code. This is for creating a purchase order. Remember, this is most commonly used cheat code ME21N. This is for creating a purchase order. Very important cheat code because whenever this is a complete cycle, whether it is an SG, whether it is an MM, everything is related to the purchase order. This is a unique number identifier which is used to track during its complete flow of cycle. That's why this C code is most frequently used, because if you
Oh,
have to check the status of any,
so during the exam, they can ask these T codes, right? I mean, probably,
yeah, they can ask
they can ask the T codes.
exams
So
of
this is,
what, I didn't get it.
no, this MM, sir, the certification for this exam and
Are
all
you
you have to
planning to
give.
do certification on that?
Yes, sir. For
Okay,
that.
you are planning to do certification. Yeah, definitely they
Yeah,
will ask. Definitely they will ask.
they'll ask. Okay, right, sir. Okay. So
100%, and this
because
is a very important
without
E code.
certif
AMI 21, and this is
yeah, okay, because without
yes.
certification, I can't move forward, sir. I have to take a
No,
certification for
no,
that.
that is not a mandatory thing. Yeah, certification
Yeah,
is not a
exactly.
mandatory. There are lot of people. It is not a mandatory one. You can proceed with that also
No,
without certification. What I feel is that
absolutely.
is an added
Absolutely.
advantage, but we
No,
can't say
because
that without certification you can't.
no, because you're mentioning T codes, right? So I thought, that it has to be very important. They can ask what is.
No, no, these really are very important. That's why I'm
Okay.
highlighting this. T codes are very, very important. And ME21, and I should say this is the crux of all T codes. Most commonly used T codes.
Vendors supply this thing, right? ME21
No, no. AMI 21 hand is to create a purchase order.
purchase order. Okay.
Yeah.
Create a purchase order. Okay, right.
See here, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
create
There's a drop
purchase
down
order.
menu.
You have to
Yeah, yeah.
you have to fill in all necessary details like name of vendor, purchase or purchase group, company code, details, everything we have to enter over here. So this is a very important thing. Now posting GR, as I already told you, what is there in the GR, how GR get posted, when the goods are checked and found that the goods are received as per the as per the purchase order you have, then only GR will get activated. So good receipt, this is a phase in which material is received by the ordering party and the condition and qualities are verified. Once material is verified against quality, then GR is posted. Just read this highlighted one, then you will came to understand what I was trying to say. Means the verification at the gate itself, because you are going to procure materials from the vendor, and once you have to verify that whether whatever you have ordered for what you are going to pay for, you are received in a intact condition or not, in a good condition or not. This is again a very important thing, and the T code is MIGO for doing that. This is for the goods movement. So again we have to fill all the, so here we have to just remember the basic functionality of that. So what is there, what is the process inside this, so we have to understand this, we have to learn this. And the most important, the T code, rest with the things remain same more or less. We have to fill all the relevant details: what is the company code, what is the purchase organization, plant details, vendor details, material master data. So these are all the basic details. Dates also, creation date, alteration date, so to create a log. So this is the normal things. Now posting invoice, very important, T code Miro. Migo, just remember Migo and Miro, there are two T codes. Migo is for goods movement, for GR, for posting invoice we are having Miro. So purchase acquisition, so purchase acquisition is nothing but the requirements, how you gather the requirements, what are your requirements, that is purchase acquisition. So in an organization, let us take an example of a stationery. So in an organization you need 100 pans and 200 rough pads. How will you requisite, how will you came to a point that I have to procure 100 pans and 200 markers? So how? So you have to create a purchase acquisition. You just send a mail to all of the department, and check their demand. That say, let us say FICO department says I need 20 markers and 10 pens. So at the last we have to create a purchase requisition. So once all the requirements are gathered, we need to inform the purchase organization who is going to purchase on the behalf. So it is a document that contains the list of requirements. So it is nothing. It is a document that contain a list of the requirements. What the requirements you are having. So it is a request that is made to the purchase organization to procure these materials. So it is an internal document. Obviously, this is an internal document. This is non-legal document, non-binding document, needs approval. So these are basic things. So what we can have, for what we can have the purchase acquisition for different procurement types. If it is standard procurement, subcontracting procurement, consignment, stock transfer, external. So these are the different types for which we can create the purchase acquisition. Very important, decode again ME51N to create a purchase acquisition.